right. Y'all can hear me today. Got this Batman helmet on today. I'd like to say thank you from Childlike Inc. to all the people that have decided to jump on board with the plan and join the Patreon. What you've done is you've allowed more little things like this and this, the keys to success that are made and given out constantly, things like that. I appreciate it. Eventually, we'll get to the point to where we pass out 3D printers. I need 90 more people, and we start giving away 3D printers to random kids who we do study their habits, and we look into them, but at random. There will be no political or no system of any kind will be put in place. It will be purely, look, on the spot, on the fly. We were out, we found the child. Would you like the 3D print? We walk him through. He do a couple things. Boom, here it is. Here next. That's the goal. In the meantime, though, we're talking about life is a hard drive and TerraBytes. So that was actually a rap lyric I heard. And it's like, dang, that was some tight shit, right? But the thing is, thought. All I do is concern myself with thought. I do not claim, first off, yes, let's make this straight. I don't know anything, right? I don't want people saying, oh, this is no philosophy. I don't believe in philosophy. I don't follow any religion. I don't believe in any of the scientific theory shits. I only go by what I've personally experienced, touched, felt emotion or movement from, and I don't even bother with goals, which may sound crazy to people. It's another way to stay in the past. I created things like this not as to jump in on bandwagons and things. We live at a time where what I see can be, I finally don't have to just be the kid who was watching it on Saturday cartoons. I'm now in a position where what I see I can make. And to keep doing it, yes, a business is in place, but that is not the main concern. Money must be made for anyone's creativity to what I guess you guys call flourish. But back to the hard drive thing. So thought and memories. Why? It's not just the painting. Let's go into this. It's not just the art world where we do miniatures or 3D printing. In general, across the board, what is the struggle with being creative and surviving? Why? What makes that so difficult? Why do we fall for such tricks and people leading us on? And like, why is this circle of struggling to do what is enjoyed such a struggle to not just me, but like people in general, right? So I don't claim to have any answers. I'm talking about it. If you're listening to it, then here's some things that must go into place. You can't hear anything I'm saying and say, I relate to that. You're not listening. Your brain is doing what's called a processing of the information that I'm feeding you, which if I'm feeding you information and you're taking it in, that's one thing. But if you're analyzing it, it will bring a point to where you miss something I say and you weren't listening. Not that you weren't listening the whole time. It's if you don't listen at all, you miss something. And I'm at a different point in life where I noticed the difference between listening and what people think myself and others do, where they think we're just waiting to answer. And no, it's not always about that waiting to answer. There's another brain process going on that I won't go into today that has humans have some incredible skills, but uh, we don't get to use them as much because there's AI. I don't like to blame things, but there is a technology out there that is not respected, and I consider it another part of like a human race. Like everyone's waiting for aliens, you might as well call AI the first alien or whatever, because it's here. It's not just, it's been here. The average one of us don't know how to use it. And now that it's got such control over so many things, that's why life has become a hard drive and terabytes, which is a very small number in our calculations of what we can do to save, uh, you know, things as far as space and hard drive is concerned, because there are like some crazy stuff we'll go into later as far as measurement of hard drive capabilities. Anyway, just get back to thought. This is mainly what my channel is going to be. I'll have tutorials and things, but if you're not into listening, I would just leave, because I'm not into I haven't developed an understanding of forcing people to hit the like button or subscribe button. You can take a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And if you do, they're, in my experiences, this is not for everyone. When I bring a horse to water and make him drink, I set up a way for him to point back at me and say, I'm ungrateful somehow. Or we argue about all I did for you and you do this. Like, I don't believe in that anymore. I am just a result of that, an experience that I have caused and had caused to me. And now I have an understanding that to survive, that is not necessary for me. It is more important that I do things like this in my life, my family, and closer friends than a job, which most of you insist. So let me kind of like wrap up a lot of it. I'm into robots. I don't understand why humans need a job, and it's not my place to bring the horses to the water. So what is my crazy idea? Well, everything I do, even this 3D printing, will be automated by robots that will literally take it off my build plate, toss it into a bag. There are guys I've talked to who do this now. So they can look at this video and be like, but I'm doing that. Yes, and I'm probably talking about what you made. But this video and those who may see it first, we don't have that kind of access to a lot of things. The automation is not in our network. And so our thoughts, I'm noticing, are not even really our thoughts. When we think we're coming up with something, we don't realize that the little banners to the right-hand side already have most of what we think about. And it's a lot to talk about because, again, to me, the name is not the thing. You may hear me say a bunch of shit, but this and this. And if you point back at anything I said and say, but you said, you weren't listening to me. You were listening to something else in your head to analyze what I said. You didn't want to take the time to take in what I said, walk away from this video, and find out. Even though you may have already done it, that's again, you're coming with the same mentality I see geniuses in a room. They have the cures for things. They have the answers. The businessman walks in, the PhD walks in, and the creative dude, like most of us makers, walk into the room. And one, the maker has to shut up because he can't usually stimulate the mind of those who are there for money. He wants to create. So his vote is out. And then the two who are in position to make the actual change end up arguing because whose nuts are bigger or who's been in the industry 30 years longer and can see things. And that is where the terror bites, because Right now, if thought is not one of your main functions in life, I don't care if you think you want to be happy, you want to scrub shoes for a living, or you just want to play video games at home. There's too much technology out here, which is all I like to talk about. And the main thing is not to say or point fingers. I am the example. I am wearing this as like, hello world. The ignorant niggas now can do whatever the fuck they want, and you guys have to pay attention because you call it disruption, but it's really cyber warfare. And it's so bad that cyber warfare is not just hacking people. Let's understand this. It is the whole use of your social network where if you're not going to just actually do your religion or your belief, turn the other cheek or any of that other stuff to blame it on, oh, well, we're full of sin or whatever else there is, then you're not looking at yourself and you're feeding that. Okay? Just so you know, there's no, oh, I put my foot in the water a little bit, I'm not. No, cyber warfare is bullying online. It's trying to tell people your opinion without accepting theirs. Getting into the debated, heated things. I argue with people and shit, but look, I'm not doing it where it becomes habit. Cut, bye. You know, like we've lost the ability to find out why we're cutting off. I believe that cutting off is not actually a choice done by any of us. Because we don't understand, don't share, don't discuss technology as a group, you allow bullies who have a ridiculous mindset now of passion and creativity, but it's misguided. And a lot of people might look at this as rambling. I don't have the answer. And yeah, I'm gonna be doing a lot of rambling. You call it what you want. In whatever I'm saying, I don't care if I'm talking about tying shoes, there's a message that I'm trying to relay to those of you who want to do and be more creative. I understand depression, addiction. I don't understand your form of it. I understand that you have a thought, you cry, you're happy, you're sad, you're thinking. You have a thought process. Along with my own forms of anything that I've said that may be out there, I'm not going to try to tell you things that I haven't personally dealt with. All right? But I'm not here to glorify a lot of what people know about me. Like, you know, some people want me to go more into the streets where the crime is. And I'm going to be there regardless to do what I can to divert younger people from becoming criminals. But that crime pays. All right. Y'all need to stop telling your kids crime don't pay. What you need to invest in them is that it doesn't have a good retirement. How about that? See, because what you do and how you say things in the old way does not register to some of us that you guys want to put on drugs and say we're hyperactive, or there's like, don't get me wrong, PhD, school, great. But since we're all colliding and attacking each other, right? At a time where all languages can be translated like this and we can actually begin to understand each other, we're like doing this. And it's bigger than anything that ever comes up on TV to be blamed and say misguided or leads us or tricks us. It boils down to life is a hard drive and TerraBytes. Because if you don't watch the new files, the new things that come into your life, like day one, start now. If you don't watch that now, then you're allowing somebody like me sitting behind the computer to run your life. You can't imagine that. That sounds crazy to you, right? I don't want that, because that means that even while I'm sitting here saying it shouldn't be fair, but life isn't fair. So fair ain't the same. since these things have come into play because of the technology, that I can't stress enough why I sit here and just talk. It's not even about anyone getting what I'm saying. It's to the point in my brain where as long as I'm saying it online, the robots are hearing what I'm saying. The AI, whatever you want to call it, is recording my activity, your activity. So it's beyond time for change. It's beyond time for reform. It's you're either doing or you're not. And you can't go back and say, well, I've done. There's no religion that you can get into the doors of heaven because of what you did, even though that's what it sounds like. Science is the same way. And every other folklore story we've ever heard, African, Greek, or whatever, they have the same principles because they come from the source of wherever we're getting these ideas from. Thought. Again, like I was saying, I'm not saying I know anything. I'm very capable of watching things though. And I don't discredit people and their superhuman ability to learn and teach. I love it. But we get so caught in being angry at some form of something that the new generation doesn't have any clue what's going on. Period. Like your kids have phones that they're capable of changing like this right in front of you what they see. They're speaking a new language the parents don't understand. And we're just, I don't know, man. We're just gonna sit and chill with it. That's our answer. We're not capable of sitting back, doing nothing for a minute, looking at it, before coming up with some plan to end up back taking pictures and passing checks to do the same thing. Now, again, I can't sit and claim I know anything. I'm just like, personally, with plastic, it seems funny that when I go into different areas, rich or poor, and I give someone a piece of plastic that is personal to them, it gives them thoughts. It takes thoughts away from whatever shit they had going on. It's like my mouth has become a black hole for time. I don't do it on purpose, but it's more than just loving to talk. I'm always talking about no matter what. It goes back to the same shit. I don't ever jump ship and I'm over here, I'm over there. I have one point. Robots run everything and no one cares. You guys like your 60 years worth of working and then you're damn near dead before you get to enjoy it, if you're not already stable. Now, I'm not trying to wipe that out. I'm saying I'm tired of hearing from an amazing amount of people who are unaware of the technology that's where we are. That's how everything you've ever bought is damn near being built and sold to you. You haven't done research dating back past what you know in the last who knows how many years. And the acceptable thing is the robots aren't there yet. Fuck. I'd love to see any of you do anything today without it being touched by automation. And for me, where I'm at in life, I'm like, man, I'm not going to take horses to water that don't want to drink. I'm talking because time has changed. And Childlike is into a lot of shit that I don't have time to sit and discuss with everyone. So if you make it through my conversations and you see something that you want to do, I'm not here to compete with you. I believe in no competition. It does not exist. I'm doing me so much. I have privileges because of my network. I could sell this. It's proprietary shit. This belongs to somebody else. But I paid respect. I keep in touch with my network to where if things change, I follow the rules. I'm not behind their back. I don't do that sharing of file shit for my 3D printing network people. I'm not with that. I don't respect that. That's stealing to me. You know what I'm saying? If I am using someone's file because my network has misled me, I'm out. Sorry, y'all. It's not worth it. I know what y'all know about me, but stealing is a bum ass way to me personally, because I guess I understand it too much. It's just I get allowed to be a lot more creative amongst my network. As ignorant as I may come off, as shortcomings as I might have, whatever people hear, I'm super privileged in these days because of the technology, and I love it. And all I can do is sit here and do what they call waste time online. But when y'all understand how this works, it adds up. So I'm gonna leave you with some points for those of you who want to go past, all the limitations you have. There's some rules you got to follow. If you made it this far, here's some serious shit. Even when taking pictures, they have these things called metadata. All right. So it's not that they're going to tell you this, but I see a lot of data, and data doesn't really care. It's called traffic. All right. You understand traffic. The thing that keeps most adults on the road for most of their life to get to and from traffic is a very serious way of life online. So if you're wondering why so-and-so has this or so-and-so has that, yes, some people are buying likes, and there are companies that provide reviews. Why would they do that? Well, as you understand algorithms, which I don't care how much you program or you think you know. When you think you know an algorithm, it changes. Let's get that. All you're doing is riding a wave for a minute, and if you're listening and paying attention, it won't. You can keep riding. All right? So traffic. The more traffic you push, the more attention you get. I do this off and on. I'm proof. What I'm doing is growing because of it. If you're interested in how much you can use the traffic on the background, you can take Childlike Inc., INC, and go ahead. I guarantee you, Childlike INC, one thing is going to be the first thing you see down the road. I have paid for no SEO optimization. Yeah, the name is a little bit different, but you know how many Childlikes there are out there? So when you understand key tagging and wording and metadata, right now, no net neutrality allows you as an individual to have capability to do multiple things at one time. But if you can't keep up with the traffic, you are wasting your time and your network's time. So you won't see a bunch of videos coming up of Musashi, boom, 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 boom. But in my Etsy store or any place where I'm selling, that is the most important thing. You must develop a discipline, as I'm struggling with now, of understanding traffic. You don't get nothing else out of the next 5 to 10 years. I hope you get that. Traffic. Because in your life, out your life, traffic is running everything around you. Don't matter what it is. Logistics is traffic. And you can manipulate at home your own traffic without breaking laws. Please read on artificial intelligence also some more information, because without it, any dreams you have of going to sleep and waking up richer than you were is not going to happen. AI has rules. I broke some of those rules a couple years ago with Twitter and Instagram, and I didn't let people understand what happened. So once you have AI, what you're doing is you're accessing with API keys a person's server. And the AI, depending on if you didn't make it, it doesn't have regulations on really what information it sees. Now, it's not going to just go get you something and bring it back like I threw a boomerang or a dog a stick. It has regulations amongst the server. But the thing is, if I'm using a bot on Instagram and I all of a sudden start getting likes, more than 50 to 100 in an hour. Understand that in their guidelines, you're being reviewed. From the time you get the review, everything you do after that, all the likes, all the posts, all the hits, if the proper respect and guidelines aren't followed, you and your bot-like even activity can be erased. Now, you can privately message me on more of that, but yes, you should ask yourself, how is it that everyone gets to use AI, but then their sites, me, again, as an individual, I have rules being made against me is how much I can use it because I didn't build it myself. We need to look into that because there are rules of using AI. Once you try to use it in their server, it has to have permission to go in and out of their files every time. And they have to grant permission on that. All the websites say that. You need to have permission for every time you access that API key. Every time you need permission. So think of how many people they would have to give permission to individually access every time some bot is trying to hit their server for a bunch of different types of information thousands of times a second. That's why that rule is there. I understand that. But do you know that? Have you ever come across that? Or are you out here building a business thinking, I wonder why this isn't working and why is so-and-so getting this? Instead of going to the source, the traffic, and asking questions there. So, all right. I think that's pretty much it. Anyone watching, again, got a Patreon, 90 more people. Started with 0. I got 11 now. So I'm sorry, 89 more people. Next video, all my Patreons, what I'll do is I'll have your names posted. Thank you very much again. There'll be more talks like this with me. Just, again, I don't know anything. Waiting for things to change, though, with what I have in this head it's not acceptable anymore. So that's why I'm here. And again, look into why life is a hard drive and TerraBytes. Because even though it may have been stringing you on for all this time, basically what I'm saying is your life is nothing more than a bunch of experiences that are burned on to a disk, your brain. But I don't just limit it to the brain. Your brain is connected to this part of your everything. And so you are your brain. You are the experiences, no matter how much you limit them. And some people say life is just hard. Well, there's your thought, and that's why it's a hard drive. The terabytes is basically an analogy for the buildup of all your thoughts that, you are more dangerous than any criminal out on the street in your own head. But it's good to have something to point at to stay sane. I understand. Just why do we collect our experiences in the form that we do only to turn around and stab someone else in the back? So enjoy your time here on this planet from here on. I'll try to keep you informed of how advanced we've become with the technology that, honestly, I'm not going to bullshit you. If you don't get with AI or robotics, there'll be a bunch of systems in place. There'll still be governments, but you'll be working and you'll be a slave. And if you're good with that, knowing that you want to go to sleep and still make money, you either got to admit you're going to start getting a whip and get you some human slaves, or you need to get out here and get with the technology. That's all there is. That's all I'm about. And that's what I'm going for. It's the goal. I don't see it working anywhere else. Because if you think you stand a chance against what that type of stuff is doing on the table right now, from business even to editing of human DNA, I feel sorry for you. And leave it at that. Thank you for your time. It's Musashi. Y'all know me as Sashi the Sage, 3D Printing World. I enjoy your time. Thank you very much. Later.